Hi, today is the 21st of December 2024. Where I am in the UK, it's the winter solstice, though for others it will be the summer solstice. And this solstice feels important. I don't always connect to every portal, every full moon, new moon, whatever, but this one feels different. It feels significant, and for for whatever reason, it feels like not just for me. To put a bit of context in before I pull some cards, a lot of stuff has come up very quickly, very powerfully in the last couple of weeks or so. And today, bizarrely, I've spoken to a number of people who feel similar. I've just felt completely wiped out, not in an unpleasant way, but in a stop, consider, be still, and connect kind of a way. So, I have been doing that today in various ways. And since I haven't done a reading for a long time, I thought I would do one now. And as I have this new fancy camera, I thought I'd even try and do it live. Let's see if it works. I know many people who go online are very good at pulling cards and giving very quick interpretations. I'm not always very good at that. So let's see what happens. So hopefully you can see that I'm shuffling. I don't have beautiful nails. A lot of people who do these readings online have really amazing nails, but well, hopefully that's not the main attraction. Okay, here we are. I am gonna cut the deck into three and see which cards come out. I'm gonna pull one card. This is in terms of energy. I'm gonna pull one card for today, the day of the solstice. One card for yesterday, which I am taking to be quite fluid. It doesn't just mean yesterday, as in um, Friday. It means give or take a few days up to a few weeks, and then one for tomorrow. This is not about reading the future. I don't use tarot to read the future. This is about looking at or inquiring into the flow of energy. The way I see things is that, well, every moment is contained within every other moment. So, although I'm looking at this in a linear way, it's not really like that. So it's not about foretelling the future. It's just looking about at the flow of energy at this point in time. So I'm going to pull the first card to represent today. There we go. That's going to be this one. That's a beautiful card. That's strength. As you can see, the woman is um, what is she doing with the lion? She is strong enough not to be afraid of the lion, but there's no sense of overpowering. There's no sense of fighting. It's an absolutely beautiful card. It's a wonderful energy. It's about connection. It's about love, and it's about being aware of our own strength. That does not come from fighting. That does not come from one-upmanship. That does not come from beating anybody. It's a completely different kind of strength, connected with the feminine, connected to the earth, and connected with a deep, deep awareness of our own presence and the power of that own presence. Um, and what a beautiful card to have for today. It's quite a still card as well, isn't it? There's not a lot of movement in there, though there is connection. So the lion could represent our inner strength. Um, it could represent when we come across things that we are fearful of or feel like we need strength to deal with or to connect with in whatever way, to just be aware that this is the kind of strength that really matters. This is the kind of strength that endures. When I say it endures, it doesn't endure like a mountain. You can see a mountain there in the background. It has the sort of strength and the solidity of a mountain, but this, even though I say there's not a lot of movement, this isn't fixed in time. Both of these characters are going to move. There's just not movement at this moment. This is about a really beautiful kind of connection. Right, next card. Okay, that's for yesterday. We've got the moon, and we have just had a pretty powerful full moon. at this moment. I can't remember what it was in, but look at that. This I do. I was about to say I do love this card. I'd probably say that whatever card came out, but I in this context now, it feels so appropriate. This, I believe, is a crayfish. Whatever it is, it's a water creature that is emerging from the water. So in the light of the moon, which illuminates, yes, but not in that fiery, powerful way that the sun illuminates. It's a gentler kind of a light. It's the light of the night. It's a feminine light. There are all sorts of things we could talk about in this card, but I'm going to focus on the crayfish because that is about things emerging from the subconscious. So water is often connected to the subconscious or the unconscious, if you prefer to call it that, the depths of the psyche, the depths of all that it is creation. And there's an element of chaos that can be connected with the creative process, often is, I say can be. Um, and it's when we bring it up into our world, unless you're a fish. Um, why did I say? Well, sometimes you wonder why you say things, right? It remains unclear, sometimes not even recognizable in any form that it is possible to interact with on a conscious level. So here we are. We've got that beautiful moonlight, and sometimes things seem a little bit unclear in the moonlight, but it has been an invitation. Um, and yes, I'm using my own experience to interpret this card, but this does go beyond my own experience. Look at the world stage. Look at what has been coming up into the light. Some of it's fairly murky, and some of it isn't. And, that allows us to follow our path forward and leads us to this beautiful strength card. And now let's look at where we're going. I'm not sure how clear this image is. This is my new fancy camera, and it's not acting very fancy at this moment, is it? What I'm doing is messing about. Well, what I'm trying to do is mess about with the lighting, but it's not really responding. Isn't technology brilliant when it works? Don't think that makes any difference whatsoever. I'm sorry they're not as clear as they could be. I'm still learning. Anyway, final card tomorrow. Death. Now, ain't that interesting? I was not expecting that. Now, sometimes people get afraid of the death card because, well, it's a skeleton on a white charger. And there are corpses. There are also people mourning. There's some kind of religious figure there. The sun is either setting or rising. You know what death is? Death is about the letting go of the old and the bringing in of the new. We have to let things go in order to bring in the new. And this time now, I feel it. So I'm so sure is a great time of change. It has been a time of change for a while now. When is it not, you may say, but it is particularly evident now, not just in this time frame. It's been happening for a while, isn't it? But I think things are, well, they haven't been decreasing in energy, have they? Let's put it that way. And there comes a point, I think, when it makes very good sense when we have connected to whatever it is that needs to emerge from those perhaps slightly murky depths, when we have connected to our own strength. And the strength that to me is the only strength that really, that the only kind of way of conceptualizing strength that really makes any sense to me, as I spoke about it before, which is not about division, which is not about trying to figure out which is the right side to align with. This is about really connecting with our inner strength. Apologies for the repetition, but it does create the context for then allowing death to happen. And it's not the Tower card. The Tower card is more about whether you like it or not, the tower's going to tumble. This is less of an external um, kind of a, I don't know, that card has lightning bolts and people falling out of the tower. It's less dramatic than that, but it is it really is about letting go and moving into the future. So these two cards are more contemplative, and this is about moving forward in a particular way, and it is very much focused on letting go. And I'm connecting. I know it's a while ago. I did a reading a while ago, which was a completely different deck. Uh, I can't remember what it's called now. But there was a card in it called the Fault Line, and the message that came along with that was about don't fight change, because the kind of change that we're going through on a collective level, there is no doubt. And for many of us, everybody's different, of course, but for many of us on an individual level too, is you can't fight it. So this feels like preparation and this feels like the moving forward. And well, let's see. One can always change one's mind. I'm going to put another one. Where is that process of allowing what is really doesn't have life in it anymore to fall away and to move through it and beyond it? Where, what kind of energy will that lead us into? Okay, here we go. Oh, two. Right. We've got two that came out. We've got the Queen of Swords and the King of Wands. The Queen of Swords. And these, by the way, are all Major Arcana cards. Major Arcana cards are, they're all equally important to tarot cards, but these are about the big whys in life, the underlying energies and the overlying energies for that matter. These are more about the doing, the hows. How am I going to do that? So this is about really what energies to connect to while moving forward. Interesting, they're both court cards. So the Queen is looking into the future. She's looking at the king. He's looking at her. She is about cutting through any kind of nonsense. She's a queen rather than a king. So they're both masters. They both have, well, they're both masters, but the queens are more about an internal mastery, right? So they are, she's able to look clearly at whatever is before her. She's able to cut through any crap, basically, any kind of bullshit. Swords are the element of air, so communication, information. It can be quite sort of cerebral and heady, but there's also a connection I feel with the general movement into Aquarius, which we've been talking about for a very long time, the age of Aquarius, which is there's a lot to do with information and an increase in the information we have available to us, kind of creativity that's associated with information and invention and so on, that she's very clear there's a morality to this, and along with a lot of information available to us, an ability to discern what is actually correct and what is useful information. So a very good energy to connect to, no? The King of Wands, he's also a master. The Kings are more about an external manifestation of their mastery. Quite fiery sometimes, connects to our passions, what fires us up, feeling an energy that's coming. If this is air, perhaps we need to be careful not to be too head based. with the energy of swords. This feels like it comes from the earth. So this is, yeah, what fuels us, what fires us up can be to do with anger, but also the kind of creativity that is, you feel it in your body. It's sort of, there's a fiery energy to it. It's the energy of fire. He's looking back. Is he looking back over time? There's a possibility that he is, but he's also looking at the Queen. So it's as though there's a sort of marriage here between the two of them. Sorry, let's get that in camera a bit better. I feel it's more about that. So the marriage between the two, discernment, can be cold. Sometimes it's useful to be cold. Fired up, passionate. Sometimes it's useful to move into that space. But when you have the two of them, you've got the discernment, the ability to cut through any kind of muddiness or muddle or too much information or disparate information, right? Um, and then, marry that with what feels right. That this is the element, the ones of the gut. So yeah, okay, there we go. I think, I mean, are they ever completely clear? Other people may interpret these differently, by all means do, but that's what I get out of that. And I think that is a rather nice little message. Anyway, I hope that's been useful in some way. Thanks for listening, and bye for now.